Yo, what's happening everyone? It's your boy here, Abdurrahim, back again with another great, amazing Apple event overview, what's happening and what they revealed. So I'm going to share with you guys in a short brief whereby what's good and what's actually maybe a little bit gimmick. But for further ado, let's get started. So the M1 chipset is optimized for the Mac system in which small size and power efficiency are critically important. As a system on a chip SoC, M1 combines numerous powerful technologies into single chip and features unified memory architecture for dramatically improved performance and efficiency. M1 is the first personal computer chip built using cutting-edge 5nm process technology and is packed with an astonishing 16 billion transistors, the most Apple has ever put into a chip. It features the world's fastest CPU core in low power silicon, the world's best CPU performance per watt, and the world's fastest integrated graphics in personal computer, and breakthrough machines learning performance with the Apple Neural Engine. As a result, M1 delivers up to 3.5 times faster CPU performance, up to 6 times faster GPU performance, and up to 15 times faster machine learning, all while enabling battery life to 2 times longer than previous generations of Macs. With its profound increase in performance and efficiency, M1 delivers the biggest leap ever for the Mac. So spoiler alert, what's the M1 chipset? Well, the M1 chipset, it's so great when it comes to its own kind of enhancement, so we won't get those kind of laggy anymore as per Apple what they stated throughout the M1 chipset, and it's kind of brilliant idea. So I guess this is kind of like crushing the Intel, AMD and all those kind of chipset which Apple worked with them in a couple of past years, and it's really kind of great having that kind of its own kind of chipset. To be honest, if I was in the Apple company, I really would like to be having my own kind of chipset instead of using third-party chipsets, because they might be a little bit going down in terms of performance, not that much, but in terms of performance somehow it might be going down. But having your own kind of chipset, understanding the ecosystem throughout your machines, it's really kind of worth it. So for the Mac machine people, you're waiting for the Mac OS Big Sur, which is really kind of great because it enhances all those kind of capability when it comes to the operating system, and it's really kind of worth it. I believe that on that kind of OS whereby they have fixed a lot of bugs compared to Mojave, compared to Catalina, it's a really kind of great improvement toward Big Sur, and I give it go for the Mac users. But perhaps Apple, since they tell you that we're gonna just release it publicly, don't get hesitated installing it, because some of you guys who might be saying there are a lot of bugs we might be getting here and there. No, don't worry about that, because if they say it officially, we are releasing it instead of you rolling out into a beta program, I really recommend you to just wait for the update. Don't roll out to the beta program yet, because it might be installing that kind of beta program and installing the next version, which it might be causing a little bit of conflict and you might experience bugs. So we are seeing a newer kind of MacBook Air, which is really kind of brilliant, because Apple, what they did, they enhanced some thinnest and light notebook, completely transformed by the Apple M1 chip. So I guess it's all about the Apple M1 chip. They tried to announce it because of switching to other kind of vendors of the chipset which they were using. They just wanted to enhance that kind of new chipset for the users to use it and experience a different kind of thing on that kind of environmental of all your ecosystem of your machine. So it's all about the M1 chip. So the MacBook Air, it's really kind of great, and the small chip give it a lot of performance throughout the MacBook Air of 2020, which is really kind of great. So it has an 8-core CPU, which is really kind of brilliant, and it has an 8-core GPU, which you can play games, really kind of great. I don't know if there are some of you guys playing games on Mac, but if you're playing games on Mac, a lot of people, all my friends, have been asking them, are you gaming on Mac? Sometimes they tell me, I cross my fingers, yes, because sometimes they get a little bit of tremendous lags, or it's not that much kind of great. But on arcade, it's really kind of great playing using Mac machine. It's really kind of brilliant. So we're getting an 18 hours of battery life. That's more than 6 hours of charge, which is really kind of great. No fan, no noise, just air. So they decided to keep that no fan, no noise, just air, which is really kind of brilliant, because they just wanted to switch without using a fan, using only your air environmental, which I understand the ecosystem and the mother nature. It's really kind of great, and I cross my fingers what if you're doing some intensive workflow? But remember, a MacBook Air is not to be thrown that kind of too much intensive workflow. It's not a Pro one, but it's just a MacBook Air. So the MacBook Air comes up with 3 colors: gold, silver, and space gray. And the price, it costs 2 prices, which is $999 and $1249. So if you want to just grab it, just know the pricing, they're a little bit different because they give you different kind of specifications. So for the $999, you're gonna get an M1 chip as normal, and you get everything as normal, but the only downside, it comes to the storage, and only the storage, I guess. It's only the storage is the one which determines between the $999 and $1249. So if you want to grab it, you might go with the $999. It's quite more decent because you might be upgrading that kind of SSD. But if it's an integrated SSD, cross my fingers, I can say sorry and just look for the MacBook Pro. Another kind of stuff, it's all about the MacBook Pro 13-inch. So you won't be getting like a 15-inch as how we were expecting, but I guess next year they're gonna just improve it and come up with another, or in a couple of months they might be announcing on their website that we have rolled out their newer MacBook Pro 15-inch size with an M1 chip and those kind of spec which are crashing like whoa. So I guess it's going to be announced. So for further ado, let's jump in on the MacBook Pro 13 and see what's new. So on the MacBook Pro 13, it comes with 2 things to be aware first. It comes with the M1 chip and an Intel chip for the people who love Intel. I guess Intel, for the lovers of Intel. And for the people who want to experience some M1 chip, which I guess a bunch of you guys are going to experience the M1 chip compared to the Intel which you're used to. So on the M1 chip, it's really kind of great, but when it comes to the finishes and touches of the coloring, the MacBook Pro 13 gives you a silver color and a space gray. So there are only 2 colors, nothing the less, nothing much. The pricing they're costing for the MacBook Pro 13, they cost for $1299 for the first variant, with storage wise of 256 GB of storage and configurable up to 512 GB up to 1 TB, but it comes with the 256 GB of storage, which it's an SSD, which is really kind of great. And for the $1499, it comes up to 512 GB of storage. And it comes up with the RAM of 8 GB, but you can upgrade it to 16 if you like. And I guess the RAM wise, it comes with the DDR4, so you won't be having any problem if you have your last MacBook, which is not outdated that much, having that DDR4 RAM, you can just swap it. But if it's an integrated on the board, well, you might be thinking about upgrading it to 16 GB of RAM, which it will be much better. Another kind of stuff, last but not least, this is from the Mac Mini. As you guys know, I really like that kind of Mac Mini, and I promised myself I'll get it. I guess next year I'll just work on getting it. It will be much better because the Mac Mini, it's really kind of brilliant. It's a small computer packed in. You can toss in on our setup here and enjoy that kind of great and amazing setup, which it's very kind of dope. I like it and enjoy the experience of the Mac Mini. So for the chipset, it comes with the same kind of style. You might be selecting for the M1 chipset and the Intel chipset, which is so vibrant. So you might be selecting between 2 there if you'd like, but I can tell you go with the M1 chip because it's kind of great. You see how much the performance it is. It enhances its own self towards the GPU and the processing power and the memory. It's really kind of great. So another kind of stuff, the coloring, it's only coming with the silver, and you get it for up to $699 up to $899, which is quite impressive. Another kind of stuff, on the RAM side, it has an 8 GB of RAM and a 256 GB of storage for the $699, and for the $899 it has a 512 GB of storage. You get at the back, you're getting a native display port, and you get the Thunderbolt 2, a DVI and a VGA output supported using adapters for the Mac Mini, and the HDMI 2.0 display, which is really kind of great, and the USB-A and the headphone jack, which is really kind of brilliant. Now, I know some of you guys, you might be hyped for the Mac Mini with the M1 chip, which is really kind of great because it's a new technology and gives you much better performance compared to the Intel, because what Apple makes, it's really kind of much better enhancement. And I think it's way there. I'm not an Apple user that much. I'm just a normal Windows and Android user, I'll be honest with you guys. But I love exploring their tech and see what they have and what's good and what's not. So I can tell you guys, whenever you're just like purchasing this for your holidays, for your next year usage, just know, select the M1 chip. It's much better compared to the So that's what's up. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed on this kind of Apple event one more thing overview. It's really kind of great, showcasing us what's new throughout the Apple products. It's really kind of brilliant. And if I didn't catch up anything and you think like there's something which is a little bit tasty, minty flavor, leave it on the comments down below so as we can catch it up. And last but not least, I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. As always, stay sharp and creative, and kudos guys. Peace. Signing out. You're new here, consider subscribing. That's what's up.